Hello and welcome in to the third ever episode here of the Flight Crew, brought to you by the Flyover. I'm Anthony Bellomo with my co-host.
And I'm Lauren Moran.
And we're here with a very special guest today.
I am David Satkowski.
Of the football team.
Of the football team.
Of the football team.
Sorry.
You're all good.
You're good.
So let's get it started here. Obviously, Stonehill made the big transition to Division I this year. What was it like going from a small town in Connecticut to a school that now plays Division I football?
Yeah, shout out Southbury, Connecticut there. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, I was thinking about it just like this week in general after the win on Saturday and then just the past couple of days, like just a journey that's brought me here to Division I football at Stonehill. Like it's a lot of it was in my hands. Some of it was, outside of my control. I had no control of Stonehill going from D2 to D1, but I mean, the process has been great, and going from playing at a public high school in Connecticut to being here at Stonehill, I mean, it's crazy. It's just crazy to look back on, and it's awesome.
So how are you holding up with even like the difference between going from small town to D1, but how are you holding up between the difference from last year to this year?
I mean, the difference has been a lot. I mean, the base of what we do is still the same. Our culture stays the same, but just the intensity at practice, the intensity at lift, everything's just amplified by 10 with the Division I move. And, no matter what we do, there's always that sense of urgency just to keep, grinding and just keep playing hard. And, not that it wasn't like that before, but just that heightened sense of urgency is just a lot with D1. But it's nothing that the guys can't handle. It's something we've embraced, and I think that's shown up in the record. So.
Yeah, and obviously, for people that don't know, Dave is one of the best offensive linemen we have here at Stonehill. Yeah, so probably should have said that at the start. But have you noticed a difference in like the level of competition for the guys you're going up against on the D line?
Yeah, definitely. With not that the talent level increased that like dramatically, but in Division II, there are some games where you're going to be going against a good D-line. Some games where you're like, I don't think that, their front seven are that good. With now being D1, every team you go against is, like the top dogs. And, I don't look ahead at what D-line I'm going against. I don't look at, I don't really care who I line up across from. But just knowing that you're going to get your best each and every week and you're going to have to give out your best is definitely a big thing with D1. And it's something I've enjoyed, and it's the challenge I continue to look forward to doing this Saturday, next Saturday, and hopefully next year.
Mm-hmm. So thinking about, great competition, let's talk about the Duquesne game. Mm-hmm. How did that feel? Like, how was that win for you?
That game was fun. That was probably one of the most fun games this year. To be honest with you, going into the game, I didn't know what to expect. It was our first D1 game. I never played in a D1 game. We prepared for in the weeks ahead and going back from all my work over the summer and the winter. I knew what had to get done, and the team knew what had to get done. And we just showed up. I don't think we came with any fear. We're like, hey, fuck it. If we're gonna go out and play, we're gonna go out and play. And that's what we did. And, just took things one play at a time and came out with the win. It was awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, just being an observer there, like, the crowd, everything, like the day, it just felt...
It was electric.
It felt so much bigger than any game that we've witnessed, I feel like, on this campus.
It's funny you say that because, we have our team breakfast in the morning before the games, and I drove over to the sports complex to, get ready for the game, obviously. And as I was walking into the sports complex with, the new NEC banners and just the buzz of the tailgate, I just knew that day it was something cool I was a part of. Something the school's never experienced, and I'm lucky enough to contribute to that first Division I win. It was awesome.
Would you say that's the biggest win of your career?
I haven't really thought about that. I mean, it's definitely one of the biggest wins in my career. I don't know if I'd call it the biggest win, just because the next game is always the most important. Yeah. And that's what I look forward to. Yeah. So, but it was definitely a big win, no doubt.
Is there any moment in high school that you look back at, like one high school game that you think made you the player that you are, or like one high school game that like sticks with you?
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. Spencer Dunphy. Week 2 of my senior year, it was my team versus his team, Pomperaug High versus East Lyme High, and that game ended up being a 42-41 win for my team in Pomperaug in overtime, and it was the first time my school experienced, real winning in a while. And just the atmosphere of that game, just everything about it, and just having it come down to the wire to a 42-41 win for me and my team. It was great. And it's hard to top that game. Obviously, I've had games in college that have topped that game, but no doubt that was a real fun one.
Do you still talk to Spencer about that one?
Oh, yeah. We were talking about it today. Spence was saying how he saw my parents or something after the game and was like, oh, yeah, remember when I went against your son in high school? I was like, I don't know if they know that, Spence, but sure. Good for you.
So kind of transitioning here, what are you looking to do after college?
The plan has been and still continues to be that I want to teach. I want to head back to Connecticut most likely, and I'll be teaching high school history, hopefully, and hopefully coaching alongside with that. So
nice.
Yeah.
What leads you to go into education? Is there something that draws you to it? Is it like going back to your hometown and coaching, or is it like what leads you to be an educator?
My mom's an educator. She works at the Frederick Gunn School in Connecticut, and obviously she had a big influence on me, no doubt. And when I was in high school, I didn't really know what path I wanted to take in my life, especially going into like my junior, senior year. And I just had a lot of great educators around me, and I knew how much they contributed to my life, and same thing for the coaches that I had in my life. I mean, coaches I've had, like my high school coach, Coach Reed, and my other high school coach, Coach Pereira. They're great influences on my life, and I just knew that the joy and fulfillment I got from their help on my life is something that I wanted to give back, no doubt about it. And whether that's in the classroom or coaching on the field, I just feel like that's something I want to do with my life, because to be honest with you, I don't think I could think of anything more fulfilling than that. And that's what I want to do. So
that's awesome.
Wow, that's beautiful.
I didn't mean that to sound super poetic.
Oh, wow, okay.
What's your teaching style going to be?
The good question.
History teachers are the best.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, I hope to be a loose teacher. I don't want to be the teacher that people, the kids talk behind my back.
Mr. Satkowski, mother.
Yeah, exactly. I don't want to be that person. So hopefully I could be, good with the students, and hopefully not want to rip the heads off of other teachers, because I know I'm sure that there'll be some people I don't get along with, and others I will get along with, but hopefully I can make it through.
The drama of the school.
Yeah. Oh, that's what I've been dreading about going back. It's like, yeah, of course I want to go back, teach high school. That's what I've dedicated the past 5 years for. But like, man, dealing with the high school drama, it's like, oh.
Who are you gonna sit with at the table at lunch?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, what teachers are gonna want to hang out with me?
Seriously, are they gonna invite you into their clique? Are they not?
Yeah,
like,
maybe like I could have the kids let me in on one of their cliques or something. Maybe I'll hang out with them at lunch.
So let's transition back to football here. So obviously in the past couple of years, there's been some changes to the O-line coaching staff. Has that been difficult for you at all with having a couple different coaches in your time here?
I think it's 4 now that I'm on. Let me think.
wow.
Yeah, 4. So I mean, people say that's a bad thing, and that they think that change in coaching is a big impact, and it is to a certain extent. But luckily, I've always had the same head coach, Coach Gardner. I've always had the same offensive coordinator, Coach Moody. So that, it's not like each time there's a new O-line coach who's a big change. But I think each O-line coach that I've had here has brought something different in a good way, because I've been able to incorporate different teaching styles from, whatever they brought forward, and it's integrated into the player I am today. And having Coach Baradelli, our current offensive line coach, he's awesome. He's a player's coach. He works as hard, and we have our fun. But at the end of the day, he wants to see me succeed. He pushes me every day, and that's what's allowed me to become the player I am today.
So we're gonna, if we could put the graphic here, whoever is editing this.
Oh God.
There's a picture of you on a phone. Who was on that phone in the post game?
Oh, I smacked the mic. Oops. That is I've been on the phone only twice in my career. Once last year, once this year, and both times are with Coach Moody. That particular game I was on the phone, I was playing center at the time, and it was right after my first drive. Coach Moody, I walk off the sideline and I hear Coach Moody's on the phone for you, which normally isn't a good thing. So I go over, I'm like, shit, what did I do? He just calls me over. He's like, "Oh, what'd you see out there?" I told him, and he's like, "All right, good work. Keep going." I was like, "Okay."
You're like,
yeah. I was like, the game's already like 56-0, whatever the post game was. I was like, I guess, I don't know. Hopefully there's not too much I can mess up between now and the end of the game.
That photo went viral for a little bit there. That was a good pick.
Sick.
Yeah.
I know. Which one of you guys posted it? Was it one of you two or Joe?
President
Yeah.
Spadorcia.
President Joe.
Yeah.
Were you posing?
Was I posing for the
posing?
photo? No, I wish I was. To be completely honest, I wish I was more aware on game day at the sideline. I don't know. I kind of look like a maniac walking around out there. I don't really notice anything else. I think after almost every game I played here, someone's come up to me after, "Oh, I was chanting your name from the stands. Did you hear me?" Nope, didn't hear you. My fault.
So, off of that, how did you get the shovel privileges?
Oh, this is something I wanted to avoid. Thanks, Sid. There's a kind of a story behind this and kind of not. So going into my junior year before the first game, we always had the team shovel. You know, people brought it out. I think Frankie did it my freshman year. Obviously, I didn't have my sophomore year due to COVID. So at my junior year, I didn't know who the shovel bearer was, I guess. And before the first game, I was just thinking, I was like, man, it would be really cool if I could take the shovel out. You know, it's usually been something an offensive lineman has done. So going into that first game versus Bloomsburg, my junior year, I was like, I'm going to try to take it out. If I can, great. If a senior wants to do it, someone else wants to do it, fine, whatever. And I brought it out. No one said something to me that week. The next week I did it again, just kept going. And it's evolved into something of its own because now half the people I know me because of the shovel. And I think it's kind of ridiculous, but I also think it's kind of cool. So there's that.
Definitely cool because, I mean, I feel like you're always the one leading everyone out. It's like you got the shovel on the shoulder. You're leading the group out. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. I love carrying the thing around. I mean, the shovel, whether people realize they're not supposed to be I forget it's like symbolism.
Yeah,
it's
like
supposed
a deeper
to
meaning.
symbolize, our DIG principle, discipline, intellect, and grit. That's the founding principles of our program.
Check out Anthony's sweatshirt. You should
yeah,
rip it off his
exactly.
sweatshirt.
I mean, almost all of our gear has it on there, and it's not just. I mean, obviously, it's kind of a corny, thing to say. Keep digging. But at the same time, it's just something that we've all bought into. Having discipline, having intellect, having grit. It's just part of our program, and that's what that shovel is supposed to represent. And it's honestly, it makes me really proud to be able to carry it. And as funny as it is to hear people know me as the shovel guy, I think it's cool that I get to represent our program like that. And I don't know, I just think it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Are you going to pass the shovel down? How do you think that's going to the shovel transition is going to be tough.
I've been 50-50 because on the one end, I become the shovel person, so it's like kind of expected that I hand it down. But at the same time, I got it. It's not like I was like, someone came up to me and was like, oh, you're going to be the shovel person. I just kind of owned it. So I don't know if I want it to be like a kind of thing where it becomes a tradition to pass it down or just something where I'm just going to be like, hey, if you want to do it, go claim it. Yeah. I don't know. I got to think about that.
Kind of like Thor's hammer.
Yeah, exactly.
Pick it up. Are you worthy?
Are you worthy?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
So overall, do you have a story from your 4 years of being here that sticks out to you? Best memory.
On the spot. Put you on the spot.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Your best memory ever. Go.
Not that these were my best memories, but I'm just kind of drawn back to the COVID year. Just like coming to where I am now and just looking back upon that when every day was just like I showed up to try to play football and not know what was going on. And that all led up to our first game last year. And I think that was the moment I remember the most from anything that year. It was pregame. We're in the locker room getting ready for the game. And Coach Gardner comes in to do his, team meeting that we do in the locker room before the game. And he was just like, we haven't played a game in 500-something days. I was sitting in the locker room. I was like, oh, shit. I was like, I haven't played a sport I love. I haven't been with my teammates. And this was all before my first start. And in that moment, it all just hit me how much, I appreciate football, how much I love my teammates, how much I love being here at Stonehill. And I don't know, just adding that moment onto everything that happened during that COVID year has kind of just been the thing that keeps pushing me to this day. And whether I realize it or not, it's a privilege to play football here and be a part of this community. And just that little moment before my first start my junior year. It just kind of summarizes all that, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, that's crazy because I feel like not a lot of us would have thought that COVID would have been something that would be a long-lasting memory.
Yeah.
A lot of us wanted to put that out.
Not that I necessarily, put it forward. COVID year sucked, but it's just the work that we put in. That's I can remember going back to not being able to even get in a gym and just having to flip tires on my high school field because I didn't know what else to do. That's the only way I knew how to train. And just looking back on all those experiences and coming to now where now I'm fortunate enough to be able to lift with my teammates. Now I'm fortunate enough to play football on the field. It's just something I never thought that was a privilege until that happened. And not that I'm happy that it did happen. It's just something that I look back on now. I was like, wow, like this could all be taken like that.
Yeah.
And it's just made me so much more appreciative of just being around everyone here, being at Stonehill, being a part of the team, and everything that's led me to doing this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Everything has led to this exact moment.
So that's the best moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
What's the worst play or worst game of your career? Is there like a one play where you're like, oh man, that went bad?
Terribly.
Yeah.
So the University of New Haven game last year, which I hate to put out publicly, but
should we put a clip in here?
I still think it still motivates me to this day, and I think about it is we were down in that game early, and there's a drive we were coming back. We ran like a flea flicker play, got a first down, and up until that point in the season, I had never directly given up a sack, and I gave up my first sack, and not only was it a sack, it was a strip sack, went to the other team, and I'll never forget that feeling after that game, after that loss, because we knew we had something ahead of us. We could have won the NE10 title, and we didn't, and we knew that, and I've made it my goal since to never put myself in that position again, and to never be in a place where I thought I could be let down as much as I was that day. And sorry, that makes it sound a little bit dramatic, but that's just another thing that's motivated me to do my best every day, because I don't know when I'll be in that position again. I mean, obviously I have a game Saturday, but you know what I mean. And the next time that opportunity comes up, whether it's this year, next year, whenever that may be, not even on the football field, I just want to remember that bad experience that I had, and just use it and motivate me for the next time.
Yeah.
Nice.
Best player you've gone against. I know you said earlier you don't really usually pay attention to who you're going up against, but is there one guy in particular that you're like, man, that guy's good?
To be completely honest, no. I mean, this past week, I went against a real good player, number 1, St. Francis, number 4, Sacred Heart, number 44. I don't know any other names.
Yeah.
Sorry, scouting
just
report
numbers.
doesn't list them. Yeah, that's all I can see on the field. I'm not looking for their back plate. But to be completely honest, there's not a specific player that made me go like, oh my God, this player is so good that he stuck out to me that much. It's just each team we play, there's going to be guys that you have to key in on, and that's what I focus on. And after that, it's on to the next challenge. I mean, maybe ask me that question again in a few years, maybe I'll have a different answer, but that's just how I feel right now.
Yeah.
So kind of reflecting on your career, is this like, what's one thing that you're going to take away from Stonehill football as you move on from Stonehill College?
I think just the work ethic piece of it. Every day is a grind, and it's kind of prototypical for athletes to come out and say that, where it's like, oh, I'm living in the grind right now. Nah, like, I mean, I when I say I'm living in the grind, I truly mean it. Obviously, there's people going through tougher things than I am. I'm just a person playing a game at the end of the day. But, between having to lift every day, go to class, get homework done, and then have the outside, worries on top of that, like, your social life, what homework you have that night, your family. And I haven't seen my family in almost a year, I've seen them on and off, but I haven't been able to go home. So, that's just the stuff that, I'm sorry, what was the original question? I kind of went off on a tangent.
What are you going to take away from Stonehill football?
Oh, that's what I was going for, is like all those sacrifices and stuff. It's just made me a better person, really, because I feel like I know what it takes to work hard. I know what it takes to become successful, whether that's in an athletics situation, academic situation, whatever it might be that is presented for me. And I just feel like Stonehill football is really preparing me to face adverse situations going forward.
Awesome.
That's good. That's good
All
stuff.
right. So now we're going to do a little segment called Fight or Flight.
Oh God.
You're going to answer as quick as you can. We're
You're
going to
actually
put
the first
first
guest.
person ever. This is a new segment.
Oh, this is new.
Yeah.
This is new.
Oh,
Yeah.
all
You're a
right.
guinea pig. But we're going to put a little timer on. I'll put it on my phone. But on the screen you'll see it.
I looked up to the clock. I was like, oh, is that where the cool timer is?
No.
Sorry.
How long should we set it? What do you think?
We got 7 questions here. If I
Are they
actually-
elaborate questions or are
No,
they?
they're going to be quick. Right off the top
Should
of the
I
head. 8
should I
questions.
should I set a minute?
Let's do a minute.
Yeah, let's do a
Oh,
minute.
You know what?
Minute?
No. 45 seconds.
Okay.
45 seconds.
Yeah, you
Dave's
got it.
got
Oh,
this in
God.
45
All right,
seconds.
Anthony and I are going to go back and forth asking you these quick questions. First thing that comes to your head, no thinking.
Okay.
All right, ready?
I'll go first?
Yep.
All right.
I'm nervous.
Morning practice or night practice?
Morning.
Overnight or day trip?
Overnight.
Purple or white jersey?
Purple.
Arm day or leg day?
Leg.
Long distance or
Full
sprint?
Long distance. 100%.
One song in your pregame playlist?
Fade to Black. Metallica.
One superstition before the game?
If I don't do all my pregame rituals, we won't win.
And then pregame meal?
Whatever the Commons has.
Awesome. With 13 seconds to spare. Woohoo.
Nice.
Nice.
We might have to lower that.
Yeah,
Maybe
we're
we'll
going to
go
have to
like
lower
40
it.
seconds.
We're going to have to lower it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fumbled
Nailed
a little
that.
bit on one of them.
No,
No,
nailed
it's okay. No, you nailed that.
that.
All right. So thank you so much for coming. This was awesome. And
Yeah, thank you guys for having me.
Of course.
I really appreciate this. It was fun.
Yeah,
course.
for sure.
All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in and catch us next time
Yeah.
here on
Thank
the
you all
Flyover.
for listening. You guys make this happen. And without the fans of the Flyover, I want to be able to do this. And you guys make it great. So thanks, Stonehill.
Thanks, guys. Awesome.
Lauren, can we get a hawk noise?
Yeah.
Oh, my